meta picks of Blackfeather and Fortress for game one.
But the thing here is, Team Secret has also landed themselves in Adagio, which is what they're so strong at, what they've made themselves known for in the past. Just having that buff composition where, as long as they position Adagio correctly, they can instigate and initiate so many fights with an advantage ahead of time.
And with that buff comp, it will be Adagio buffing up that glaive.
So I do feel like this is going to be a battle of the bruisers. You know, you have Glaive, you have Blackfeather, who's going to be duking it out left and right.
Ataka's the last pick. With the first game of the best of 7, it's Action Jackson and Forecourt Jester.
Man, some interesting picks actually coming out. I wasn't necessarily expecting the Taka.
Yeah, I was actually looking more towards the Sky. I mean, Mixi plays an amazing Sky.
That is a very, very good point. Yeah. But it is time to put on the try-hard pants for these teams. The best of 7 has begun to determine the champion of champions, and I have to say, I'm a bit surprised at the Saw ban over the Adagio ban.
This is what Rome has been telling us for 2 days straight. There's not going to be a Saw.
Yes,
no Saw. Mark my words,
that.
24, 48 hours ago, he said there's never going to be a Saw.
But Adagio is something that Team Secret are arguably equally known for. But in any case, we're onto the fold for this first game. Very excited to see which one of these teams can start the momentum off strong by taking home the first game of the series. TSM, they're probably feeling pretty good off the back of their show match victory.
Well, I mean, when you have the momentum going, it really does do a lot for your game-making decisions. They're probably cool, calm, collected, and, you know, winning, it makes you feel good. Now, at the same time, Team Secret, they are no slouches when it comes to this game. They got nerves of steel at some points, and these guys have been playing a lot for the last 2 days.
Oh, they really have. I mean, pretty much the entire time we were doing VOD reviews and our preparation, they were doing their own thing, just sitting in one of the conference rooms, playing a bunch of Vainglory over on the NA server, getting used to maybe the differences that you see on the ladder. Right now, though, we are getting a fight already. Cole the Meek trying to pick up some damage down onto Redemption and Majestic, but it's not quite going to be enough. Looks like we're having Redemption playing the Arden this time. It is going to be Rome Arden as well, finding that Iron Guard contract. So definitely a bit of a change up from what we saw in the show match.
Yeah, a little bit more of the bigger question coming into this is who is actually going to be roaming for these guys when it comes to brass tacks. And Kvalfar last round did do Finn. To be fair, though, again, his Finn, absolutely amazing. Might not have won them out the match, but now coming into this, Redemption was sort of the rumor that we had heard that he is going to be trying to set these plays up. We'll have to see how well he does, but Mixi's pushing forward.
Whoa, that was a very nice rotation up from Redemption. They knock Mixi onto the turret, and he goes down immediately. You've got to be careful of that gank when you're against a glaive. You have to know that it might be coming.
It wasn't even just the Arden. I mean, that was pretty much just a pure play there from Kvalfar. He just saw Mixi too far forward, and he got it.
And we got another fight developing here by the shop too. Cole the Meek hasn't been touched yet, but Flash Axe immediately goes down. Now Cole's in the 1 versus 2. He's going to get backed up by Kvalfar with a very nice save afterburn coming across, keeping Majestic alive. Redemption's trying to hunt him down here, but knowing that Kaku will be up relatively soon, he's not going to commit, although he might be able to get Cole the Meek. Oh, so close! A blind Vanguard would have stopped that back.
Don't mind. Team Secret off to a good start, though. I mean, picking up 2 kills already. Not going to be the biggest of leads, but, you know, they're getting that momentum back. They're getting into their, their zone, their soft spots. So, moving forward, a little bit of armor across the board here early, especially Cole. He got that after the very first fight, the light shield and the light armor. So, he is trying to make sure that he can take up. He's going to be responsible for a lot of this initiation. Him, Flash, and Mixi, they're going to be jumping Majestic a lot.
Oh, absolutely. That's going to be one of the biggest targets for the side of TSM. Team Secret, you got to remember they had a good start in the show match as well, but they kind of tapered off moving forward. So TSM with something like the Blackfeather that really does hit a breaking point, no pun intended, when he picks up a few items, is going to be able to turn things around in a big way.
Now here comes Cole the Meek.
Oh, he's going in, trying to get onto Majestic. This is just what you were talking about. He does need to try and get out of here. Majestic barely able to getting back long enough to kill Cole the Meek. Sorry, not Cole the Meek, Flash X. It's going to be that trade coming across from both of these teams. First kill on the board for Team Solo Mid. But Team Secret, I mean, I don't think they mind that trade too much. It gets some pressure on the board.
Well, the big thing is trying to keep Majestic down as much as possible. He is going to be the key to this. He's going to be the buff there for Kvalfar, and at the same time, he himself, I mean, we've been seeing a lot of alternating current these days into, you know, Shatter Glasses, Broken Mist, that kind of thing. Majestic...
He is going to get stopped there, actually, and he's already down to about half health, so this could be a bad position for him. Majestic doing a lot of damage with the amped-up basic attacks. He actually managed to pick up the kill during the Kaku from the burn of Gift of Fire, so Cole the Meek being a bit over-aggressive there, over-eager to steal away those back camps.
And that's not what you want to give Majestic. You do not want to give him those freeform kills, as his gold is just going to absolutely skyrocket. He himself also has a little bit of armor, so he knows he's the target, and he knows that Cole the Meek, I mean, it's very likely he's going weapon, and you know Mixie is, so that's a double weapon. You're going to want some armor.
Oh, absolutely. And talking about Majestic's build real quick, notable that he has built some attack speed already. Might be going for that slightly more self-centered build, which picks up the alternating current. You do a lot more damage when you go for that than a Shatter Glass, but your heals do a little bit less, so it's less focused on your teammates. This is something that we see as a constant decision point when you're playing these buff comps.
Now, one thing that is going to go into Majestic's favor is later on, especially if they all jump him, if
Whoa, Mixie!
Yep.
He gets annihilated. Huge burst damage coming in across from Team Secret to get another kill. 5-1 right now.
And again, you know, that combo with that Arden, with that Glaive, you cannot be in alone in that lane. You got that Glaive coming in, he gets an angle on top of you, and you're all of a sudden in this bad spot. You bring in Redemption, and boom. The whole thing is just over in a flash. But Cavalifar and Redemption, they keep that, they keep Majestic going? Apparently not. All right.
Flash, he is going to be walking blindly into the bush. We know that he doesn't like to buy vision, but you've got to be careful about how much you have. Manages to jump to the last minion in the wave right before the turret hits it in order to escape, but Majestic hunts him down. This is the damage that you get out of this early game Adagio really coming into effect. Cole the Meek wants to stop the steal, but he might have bitten off a little bit much here in trying to do that. The Flare spots him out during the Kaku, but he has it again, trying to get out. The Vanguard slowing him from Redemption. Cole the Meek, he's trying to run right now, but I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get away. He's got such a long distance to cover. You can see Mixie wants to back him up. He's trying to come in from the flank, give him a bit of space to work with, and it's working very well. Cavalifar, in fact, could go down here. That's going to be on point. Mixie and Cole the Meek diving onto the turret. That chase turned around in a big way with Mixie coming to help out now. We've got all three members. They want to turn this one back. Majestic trying to get onto the turret. He is going to find some good damage onto Mixie, but not quite enough for the kill. Early fountain pickup from Flash X doing a lot of work there.
So the big thing I was trying to say is that Majestic has that verse. Those are 3 melee. They jump him, the verses are going to be good.
Majestic, he's going to get jumped on yet again here, but the Vanguard keeping him out for now. Cole the Meek first to go down. Flash X, he's only a roamer. It's very difficult for him to hunt here, and with Cavalifar back from base, they're going to be able to pick up another kill. Again, over-aggression coming through. We've seen this actually from both teams so far this game.
8 kills, 3 and 3 there on Majestic, but now Cavalifar getting a kill on the board there. He has those assists on top of it as well. That gold is not exactly like that game-ending amount, but again, momentum, the map pressure. Right now, it's all about Team Secret bullying around TSM with this comp, and with the stun there from Cavalifar, with the just sustain from Redemption he's able to give the team, plus the heals from Majestic, this is turning into something that TSM is struggling with here.
Absolutely. I mean, if you look at Team Solo in its comp, what are they good at, right? Diving onto the back line, trying to pick up someone quickly. But because you've got the pairing of Arden and Adagio, that becomes so much harder. Team Secret, they're using the pressure that they've accrued for themselves to pick up the gold mine, and it's going to be an immense payout. And that finally puts them in a decent gold lead. Now they're jumping on a Mixie, doing some good damage here, but we've got reinforcements from TSM. Cavalifar can't make it back to safety in time. Mixie, with that Rose defensive, creates some space, but not quite enough to get away. And now Majestic is in a bad spot. He's trying to wait for that cooldown on the heal. The Vanguard manages to get him there, but look at this. That time bought by Team Secret enables them to pick up another kill. They've found 2 so far. Flash X could follow. He stands on the scout trap. Yep. It's trying to get some revenge for Flash X never buying it, I guess. But man, big team fight for Team Secret. And again, I guess the name of the game is really over-aggression here.
They were off by a second for that ace, so they're not going to get the buff or the minions. But yeah, again, Redemption playing on top of this Arden. Ardens are the most offensive of our rooms that we got right now, and putting a very skilled player on it like that to help out with this team, because again, Mowgli not here, it has been working out very well so far. So even under that turret, TSM, I mean, like, they paid for their over-aggression right there, and now they're in a spot where more over-aggression like that is going to start severely impacting their late game.
Yeah, at a certain point, you need to be reserved, because you know that later on, you've got Mixie, who becomes a monster in the late game on the Black Feather. You need to kind of buy into that as your strategy. They want to utilize Cole the Meek. Right now, that's why they're doing this. They're like, okay, Taka, we've got this early game strength on our team. We need to make it happen. But you've got to pick and choose when you go for these kinds of fights. On the flip side, Team Secret is being actually quite reactive, mostly defensively fighting here, and this is going to be the jump on the Majestic, but look at this. The damage just isn't there. The heals keep coming. That's going to be the Vanguard as well. 3 people get stunned up by a big ultimate coming across, and TSM need to try and turn tail and run. Cole the Meek, he is going to get a lot of space with the boots, but Kvalifar soon has Afterburn up. It's up again. Kaku popped. He maybe wants to turn this one around, maybe just wants to sneak back and try and escape with a recall. Majestic, if he spots him, doesn't actually have much reinforcement. This is kind of bold from Majestic, but here comes Redemption. Can he find the Vanguard? He picks it up, and another kill goes across to Team Secret. There are 13 kills to 4 right now, really starting to snowball this lead.
I mean, he gave it a shot. Good
stun.
stun.
Mixi, he gets knocked into the wall. Does have a bit of a shield, though. Kvalifar doesn't have the damage.
Nope.
He way overestimated what he was going to be able to do there.
Even with all that armor, Mixi was able to just tear right through it. Redemption, though, might get redemption here.
This is just a meat grinder. Team Secret keep trying to run in and pick up the kills. Now they've actually got the 2 people. They are going to be able to find one. Flash Axe might go down here as well, but Majestic can't quite close the gap. So in the end, that is going to be an okay trade, but Team Secret got to be careful, Kvalifar especially, about going too deep.
The big thing is Cole the Meek. I mean, he is going in, he's getting off the damage, but then basically has to turn tail and run. And when it comes to just this collapse, it's not working yet, and we just got that Solar Blade there for Cole. That is how far behind he is. He got that at the 8.5 minute mark. Usually you'd see it something like 6 to 7. With a gold mine on top of this here from Team Secret, I mean, that's going to put him, what, almost 3k ahead?
Yeah, and that's the gauntlet used just to make sure they pick it up. Redemption immediately breaks it by blood for blooding over the barrier onto Flash. But I actually find it quite interesting, and I think we should talk a little bit about the build Cole the Meek is going for here. Going for this sort of pure weapon power build on the Taka, rather than, for example, the proc build, which centers very heavily on the burst upfront damage, doesn't seem to me like it synergizes that well with what Team Solo Mid's comp is trying to do.
Well, if you go for a tension bow, though, that's just going to lead you to even worse mid to late game, and you're going to need Cole strong in that late because you know that Majestic is going to be just a monster to try to take down. And between Majestic buffing out Kvalifar, he gets off the damage. Majestic himself alternating current, he's going to be probably going for that Broken Myth next. Like, he himself is not putting out negligible damage. Redemption, though, is the guy that's keeping this and making a lot of these happen. Look at Redemption, 6-0 and 7. He actually has the best ratio on the team.
Yeah, fantastic play from him, and maybe after this he won't be a sub anymore. Majestic is going to get dived on here, has to make his way back towards the turret. You can see that Team Secret, the position they're taking on the map, affords them a lot of ability to escape from these sticky situations.
Yeah, well, we didn't actually have that gauntlet right there, so just letting TSM kind of exit left, I mean, that's not really going to be too much off of Team Secret's plate. But 11.5 minutes in, we're not exactly into Kraken territory yet, but again, a lot of armor is the name of the game here from Team Secret. They are surviving, they are getting these counter kills, and TSM, they're going to try again.
Majestic does get dived on top of once more, but he's got the turret to play with, trying to get the burn off. He doesn't find it, though, and this time, Kvalifar was back in base. Actually, Team Solo Mid trying to keep this fight going. Good damage onto Redemption, forces him back, and Kvalifar, the new target. He finds the Afterburn, but as he goes down, it's an ace for Team Solo Mid. They turned this game on its head.
They even went between turrets on that one, and all right, we're going to get a kill actually over to Redemption because just one too many turret shots on top of Cole, but they get that turret and it ace. Now they got those minions pushing in. That's probably another dead turret right there. If Majestic goes too far forward, they could jump him.
Man, if you give an inch to TSM, they take a mile. I think that's really what we've learned from the show match and this one. Flash X taking a lot of damage here, but Majestic doesn't have the speed to keep the chase up. Trying to go into Mixi, he is going to do some good damage, but doesn't find any kills. Right now, it's not 15 minutes. It's not as if off the back of that chunking they can go for a Kraken. Maybe a turret is the play for Team Secret.
Well, it definitely was the better play from TSM. They picked up there. Now, yeah, sure, all right. Take this one. A little bit more of equalization. It's going to be a 2v3.
All right, Cole the Meek trying to jump on the back line here. Majestic is quite low, but he's going to be able to run out of the gauntlet, and he's got the fountain proc. Is the damage here? Team Solo Mid really want this kill, but they don't have it. Mixi very low. One more attack from Majestic would find it, but he can't get in range, and Cole the Meek hunts him down. Redemption, meanwhile, trying to go for the kill. Can't find it. Team Secret has gone too deep. They're going for Mixi again, but he keeps bouncing back from death. Redemption, last man standing for Team Secret. He finally falls. Back-to-back aces for Team Solo Mid. They got the best poker hand.
Well, Mixi with that lifesteal, with that on-point shield, and that infinite escape with the Rose offensive, it actually worked out supremely well for TSM. They get themselves that ace. They are actually equaling out those kills. They've taken the gold advantage, and immense gold payout on top of it. The lane is being pushed in, and now Cole, he's taken that jungle, and we're all of a sudden in a much better spot. We're getting our own armor. We just finished up not only the Shiver Steel, but the Atlas Pauldron here for Mixi, so now his stickiness and his survivability is going to go through the roof.
I mean, we're seeing kind of a mirror of what happened earlier on, where Majestic, everyone would dive onto him and be unable to find the kill. That just happened with Mixi. He's hit that point in the game where Black Feather really starts to excel. Now, it's hard to really figure out how to play the fights for Team Secret. You can't necessarily dive onto the backline with Kavalifar, but at the same time, you need to keep Majestic at a certain distance. So they don't have the congruence or the lineup that Team Solo Mid have where they all want to be going in.
Now, Flash also has that Crucible, so if you thought that those Verse of Judgments were good in the beginning, well, now we have a Crucible to kind of negate pretty much all of that. So Majestic is going to have to really pay attention to timing on that one if he wants to get those clutch Verses off like we saw last time. But in the last fight, he didn't even actually get it off. He did die right before that crucial cast time. So there are a few adjustments that are going to be needed here from Team Secret. That armor is no longer enough. So the big question is, do they tank up more, or are they actually going to go more offensive and just try to burn down either Cole or Mixi?
I feel like the right play in my books for Team Secret is go more defensive. Try and use the fact that you have the heal from Majestic, for example, and the Vanguard from Redemption to extend the fights to a point where Mixi is out of charges of Rose Offensive, for example.
Right.
Get to the point where you can actually start to play around the buffs rather than just running.
There's the Kraken.
Yeah, this could be big for Team Solo Mid. We saw in the spotlight earlier on that this kind of acts frequently as the fourth member of their team. And they're starting it off right away. They're not giving any opportunity for Team Secret to react, and Team Secret aren't.
They were just in the jungle. They didn't see anything. They're assuming infusions. If they can actually look at the scoreboard, they would have seen them. And infusions there from TSM as well. That means they get it uncontested. They're down in kills, but they're up in gold and now up in momentum. If one more bad fight here goes from Team Secret, well, that is just 3 turrets between TSM and a victory.
I've got to be honest, this could be the Team Solo Mid special that we were talking about earlier. They are so effective at using the Kraken. Right now, waiting around, I believe, for the minion mine to respawn just so they can get the biggest possible... Oh, sorry, they've already picked that up. They're going to be going for the biggest possible push here onto the turret. Lots of damage on their side, so they can burn through it quite quickly, but they are 3 melee. That's a consideration. They have to get very close, maybe too close for comfort to take the turret. Right now, they are able to pick it up, though, and now the fight starts. Majestic trying to kite back, needs to get to the other side of that gauntlet or get the first down. He does find a huge one! The Crucible not doing enough from Flash, and that is going to force Team Solo Mid to try and retreat. Mixi, he sees an opportunity, though. He wants to go back in. He picks up a kill. Redemption, the Roamer, is the last member alive for Team Secret, and it's going to be very hard for him to defend here. He wants Mixi, but the on-points keep on coming. Finally, Mixi goes down, but Kraken's still around half health. We've got a 9-second timer on the side of Majestic. This could be game. I think Flash X can end here. He just needs to play around this Vein Crystal, buy time for the Kraken to do the damage. It's going to be very, very close. Flash X finally falls. Majestic wants to take down this Kraken,
there it is.
And he does not do it in time. Team Solo Mid, off the back of a show match win, come in strong to the best of 7.
Now, it did start off a little bit shaky for them, trying to go in again and again, but Majestic eventually did become the target. They got to the point where they were able to just punch through that early armor and that early lead that Team Secret did accrue for themselves. And I got to say again, Mixi and Cole, that Taka at the end, he looked like a liability in the beginning, but by the end, he was able to combo very nicely. They got the bleed stacks up in between Mixi and Cole. They were able to burst right through it all.
They really were, and Majestic, we saw a glimmer of hope in that last fight where he was actually able to get the verse off, but Team Solo Mid at that point had built too much momentum for that to slow them down. Very impressive performance from these guys in both the show match and this game, and I'm sure moving forward, Team Secret needs to figure something out to deal with it.
Well, the one band that I was caught off guard with was Scarf. I mean, we've been told, again, Saw. We're not going to see any Saw. I was really hoping we would because it's